Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Arsenal News. Now, we're going to be discussing lots of Arsenal transfers, news. Mikel Arteta is back, in training, back on the touchline. On the next fixture, he'll be on the touchline. He's back, he's fully fit. We'll be discussing that a little bit more. And, Philippe Coutinho is going to be signing for a Premier League side by this weekend. That is there is Aston Villa, there is Everton, and Arsenal. Those are the three clubs that are very, very, very closely linked with Philippe Coutinho. By this weekend, he's going to be signing for a Premier League club. At the moment, looks like Aston Villa is also really, really intensifying in that race. We're going to be discussing that and all the reports around that, but also what is very interesting is that Fiorentina have signed another striker. On top of signing Ikone from Lille, they have also now signed another striker in January, and that guy is called Krzysztof Piatek from Hertha Berlin. We're going to be discussing that and what that means for our pursuit of do's and Vlahovic, because again I say that there's no way they're signing in two strikers at the moment now they have four strikers already around. It doesn't make sense. If you tell me that they're signing in, they're just signing in strikers for fun, it doesn't make sense. It really points to the fact that Arsenal could be moving closer and closer to Dusan Vlahovic. Ainsley is flying to Italy as well to do his medicals, and Florian Balogun is also very, very close to that agreement for a loan deal with Chris Wilder's Middlesbrough. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also hit the like button as well. It really massively helps. I'm going to give you just a few seconds. Do that right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Massively helps if you've subscribed and hit that like button in those seconds. Melbet saying if you want to bet with them, if you want to open up an account, register with them online and bet with them, click the link in the video description, and you can use my promo code to get that welcoming bonus, to get that beginners bonus, so that you can actually earn some money. Our next game is coming in in the FA Cup. I think it's a must win. So if you want some easy money, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup, that is a very, very that is easy money. Arsenal should be winning that. So make sure you do bet with Melbet, and of course remember, do not bet what you cannot afford to lose, and also betting only applies to people over the age of 18. Let's get into the content. Let's start off with Philippe Coutinho, because in the last 48 hours, the turn and magnitude of reports around Philippe Coutinho is again very, very interesting. To start with, yesterday Arsenal were given that kind of that ultimatum that if you want to sign the player, then you have to do that in the next 24 hours. So Barcelona told Arsenal, they told us that if we want to sign Philippe Coutinho, we had to notify them within 24 hours. We had to to confirm that within the next 24 hours. Now Arsenal are not really sure about Philippe Coutinho, especially with Barcelona wanting an option to buy such a clause to be included in the in the deal. Arsenal are not sure about that. What Arsenal want is a free is a dry loan. They just want a dry loan spell for Philippe Coutinho. Give us the player, we take him at the Emirates Stadium, but there is no obligation to buy. There is no option to buy. That is what Arsenal are absolutely looking at. They're not looking at signing Philippe Coutinho in the future, like the Mirror was suggesting. That is not true. Arsenal, and I think this is the reason as why Arsenal are really stalling in terms of Philippe Coutinho. They do not want any obligations. They don't want any any commitments when it comes to Philippe Coutinho, because again he's a very injury prone player, and the amount of wages he's getting as a player is absolutely so much. So Arsenal don't want to dive into that. What they want is a dry loan. Give us the player, and then at the end of the season he comes back at FC Barcelona. But also it is rumored that Arsenal wanted Barcelona to pay all the wages of Philippe Coutinho 100%. And I said it yesterday that would be a very, very smart move from Arsenal. That would be a very, very good move from Arsenal. If you can bring in Philippe Coutinho with zero wages, Barcelona, of course, Barcelona, we know they are desperate. They want to create space for Ferran Torres in the squad. So they just want to have a player like Philippe Coutinho leave the club, and then so that they can actually register Ferran Torres this January. But what is happening at the moment right now is that Aston Villa have taken a very, very huge step in terms of Philippe Coutinho. It looks like Steven Gerrard has actually called Coutinho and told him, look, I want you at the Villa Park, and by this weekend, Arsenal or Aston Villa, we are not yet sure who is going to be unveiling and announcing Philippe Coutinho. At the moment, Aston Villa are really believed to be leading that race for Philippe Coutinho. They have told Barcelona they will include an option to buy at the end of the season, and they will also try to pay at least 50% of the wages of the player. Arsenal, we know that Philippe Coutinho wants to join us. We are the priority. The player wants to join Arsenal, but at the moment there is no contact between Arsenal and Barcelona. There is contact now between Aston Villa and Barcelona, and they are leading that race very, very much. Now, I think this is very, very good news to all the Gunners out there that really do not like Philippe Coutinho because he's injury prone, because he's expensive. And also, it also gives us, for me, it just gives Arsenal that kind of better, opportunity to go for a better player. You could go for Gigi Wijnaldum, who I think is a priority, and he's a non-negotiable in terms of what we need. It's a no-brainer. He's that kind of central midfielder still. He's predominantly plays there, and he's been in the Premier League, and he's really, really played very, very consistently in the last 5 years at Liverpool. So I think Gigi Wijnaldum, if Coutinho doesn't come in, I don't think it's something that we should be mourning about. But by the weekend, that announcement is very, very imminent. His agent, Kia Jorapchin, and of course that man, Philippe Coutinho will be announcing, or they will be announced by a Premier League club. That is confirmed, but we do not know yet. Is it going to be Arsenal? Is it going to be Aston Villa? And of course, Everton are also there trying to scratch, but I don't think Everton and Newcastle are going to be signing them. I think I'm looking at Newcastle signing Aaron Ramsey. That is the direction they're trying to take. So it looks like Coutinho will be ending up at Arsenal or Aston Villa. Let's wait and see what's going to happen out of that. Now, speaking about Kia Jorapchin, Bruno Guimaraes, it is being rumored that if Bruno Guimaraes is going to join Arsenal, then there must be there is going to be a hand of Kia Jorapchin. Of course, we know we have worked with Kia Jorapchin on a couple of deals. David Louis from Chelsea, he was the agent, and Philippe Coutinho as well. He's the agent of Philippe Coutinho, but also Willian. They do share the same agent. I think Gabriel Magalhaes as well. Is it Gabriel Magalhaes or Gabriel Martinelli? I think one of those two Brazilian lads, Arsenal, has his agent as Kia Jorapchin. So what is being rumored at the moment is that Arsenal, in order to try to get Bruno Guimaraes, because he's Brazilian, they might actually need the aid of the man himself, Kia Jorapchin. He's a super agent when it comes to South American talent, especially with Brazilians. I don't know why he's done that, but I think he's set his career, his path very, very straight in terms of officiating those deals for Brazilians. He's really, really done it very, very well at the top level. If you look at players like David Louis, if you look at players like Philippe Coutinho, he's done it very well. In terms of getting them decent sides, around Europe, but also making sure that his players do not actually suffer. His players, go to clubs that really, really where they're really needed, and the conditions they play under which they play, are very favorable. But I think the Brazilian connection between Kia Jorapchin and Brazilian players and Brazilian agents would actually be very, very good, and that shows you how desperate or how urgent we need Bruno Guimaraes. Edu is trying to sign that lad so that we do not actually enter battles of we should leave Bruno Guimaraes to go for Douglas Luiz. I think Guimaraes is the man. I've always said that, and I'll say that say that all my life. So Kia Jorapchin coming into that deal is very, very controversial, by the way. I think among the agents that are really controversial, Look, I think his controversy is not at that level of Mino Raiola, but again, he's that kind of man that is that has caused problems for Arsenal, and we know that much. All the transfers that that we've worked with them, including Cedric Soares, I didn't forget that. All the transfer deals that we've actually worked with them, they've been a little bit dodgy. They've been a little bit shady. I mean, the kind of transparency. I mean, Cedric Soares 4 years, William 3 years. He was trying to give us Filippo Coutinho for 4 years. David Louis again. Look, I mean, he's a little, is a kind of a shady agent. But one thing you have about him is that when it comes to that Brazilian connection, he's not the agent of Bruno Guimaraes. So if you want to convince a Brazilian player, then he's the right man. So Arsenal can use the services of Bruno Guimaraes, and it is being rumored that Arsenal are planning to. And if Bruno Guimaraes is going to join us, then we shall need the services of that man, Kia Jarapchin, there. Right, and then let's move over to what is happening around Dusan Vlahovic as well. Because I mean, I didn't do this video at the rate I did. I always do the early shows because we need to talk about a lot of things and try to make you understand what's moving on. Right, so Dusan Vlahovic, Fiorentina have decided to go for a second striker in the same month. What does that mean, lads? Right, they've gone for a second striker. They first signed in Jonathan Ikone from Lille. That one is confirmed, done and dusted. He's part of is gonna be part of them right from this January. Done deal. Ikone, striker from Lille, signed for Fiorentina. As if that is not enough, they have now signed in Hertha Berlin central striker Krzysztof Piatek. Right, and this is according to Gianluca Di Marzio, who has said Hertha Berlin central striker Krzysztof Piatek is set to join Fiorentina very, very soon. Arsenal have been linked with the current striker Dusan Vlahovic. Right, so interesting from Di Marzio, very, very interesting from Di Marzio, and I hope Fabrizio Romano is also gonna pick up this story. We'll discuss it live at 9:30 p.m. today. Because what is interesting about this story, and why I think it really means a lot in terms of Arsenal, and why I've decided to do it, is we are the only club at the moment that are really serious about signing in Vlahovic in January. All the clubs, all the projects that are around, all the clubs and projects that are interested in Vlahovic, they want him in the summer. Done, and that is confirmed by Fabrizio Romano and Gianluca Di Marzio. They have said Arsenal at the moment are the only club that want to sign him in January. The rest of the projects, the rest of the club that he wants to join or who would like him to join them, want him in the summer when it becomes cheap, when it becomes a bargain. So Fiorentina, we've tabled in that bid, 55 million euros plus Lucas Torreira. And what Fiorentina have done, they have not rejected that bid. We are yet to receive a proper response from Fiorentina. They're not saying no, they're not saying yes. I mean, they're like, we are quiet. We are very, very quiet. They've decided to go quiet, and I might understand why they've decided to go to be very, very quiet. But what is interesting about Vlahovic is that Fiorentina have signed in then another second striker in Piatek. So they have Piatek, they have Ikone as well. Two strikers in one window. Definitely, they are looking for a replacement of Vlahovic as soon as possible. The question is then, can Arsenal now move on to convince? Because for me, I think the work is done. Yes, Romano said it yesterday that Arsenal will not have problems in convincing Fiorentina to sell and getting that agreement. But I think now the work and the big job now is to get to Vlahovic, get to the agent, right? All this crap talk of he doesn't listen, they're not picking up calls. Get the money there, give them. I mean, we need to make now a bid. We need to make an offer to Vlahovic. At least I can confirm there's been no offer to Vlahovic. There's been no offer to the players come. So that is what we need to do. Because again, signing in a new striker, two new strikers for Fiorentina, they're just preparing for life. After Vlahovic, they're preparing for life. Without Dusan Vlahovic. So that is the update. Fiorentina have signed in a second striker. That is Piatek on top of Ikone in the same month. They're really looking to replace Dusan Vlahovic. If Arsenal can convince him to join by January. Absolutely wonderful news. Elsewhere today, Balogun is very close to reaching an agreement with Middlesbrough, and Arsenal are also very close to agreeing that deal with Middlesbrough, so that he goes there. They're going to be playing under. He's going to be playing under Chris Wilder. Wilder was under that Sheffield United side. Of course, they did suffer from a second season syndrome, and they actually were relegated. But I think if you cut away that season and you just focus on their first season in the Premier League, what a season it was. And I think Chris Wilder is a brilliant manager. He was a brilliant manager at Sheffield United. So if Balogun goes to Middlesbrough under Chris Wilder, I feel like he's gonna be in the hands of a manager that is really good, a manager that has been in the Premier League, a manager that really understands young talent. Because if you look at that Sheffield United side that he had a couple of young players coming up, the likes of Dean Nelson on loan from Manchester United, the likes of Sunderberg, and a couple of them, and the likes of Aaron Ramsdale. So he's a manager that has that kind of experience when it comes to working with young players, young talents. He knows what to do. He knows what they need, and things like that. And I think it's a very good move for Balogun, because the thing, when you go to the Championship, it's like a mini cake to the main cake. Because again, Premier League football, when you come from the under 23s, it's so difficult to come in the Premier League and make a statement. Yes, you can, but how many players have actually done that? Saka, yes, has done it. Because I don't remember Saka going out on loan so many times. I don't even remember if he had a loan deal. But if you look at the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe, Eddie Nketiah, when you come from the academy, it's the road. It's like a chronology. You've got to go to the Championship. You've got to go to the League One, League Two, and play some football, get some minutes, and become a little bit stronger. When you hatch from the under 23s, the conditions are not that favorable. So you go to the Championship. I think it's a very good move for Balogun. He goes to the Championship. If he can bang in around 15 goals, 15 goals in half a season, or 10 goals half a season, I think he will be writing a very big statement. So that agreement is very close. Arsenal should be announcing that very soon, and Middlesbrough should be announcing that very soon. Ainsley is flying to Italy to get his medicals done and completed, as well. That has been confirmed by the BBC. Ainsley Maitland-Niles flying for his medicals. I think I'm gonna say an opportunity for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. What a big opportunity for the player. He's always loved that kind of he's always loved that kind of special treatment where he's believed to be a good player. I think Jose Mourinho is he a Jose Mourinho kind of player? It's debatable, right? Are they taking him because they do not have options in January and he's available, or are they really taking him because Jose Mourinho believes in him, loves him? It would be very interesting to see, because what I've seen about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he wants to be appreciated. He's one of those players that are going to give you their best. They're going to lay down their life for you if you appreciate them. But if you do not, I don't think they're really loud. But I also think Roma are going to take a very good player in terms of versatility. He's a very versatile player. He can play for you at both wing backs. Can play for you in that midfield. 8-6 can play there. I think Jose Mourinho is a very good deal, and that one is agreed between Arsenal and between the player and Roma as well. So that is the update this early morning. I'll speak to you right in the next one. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to the damn thing as well.